Assalamualaikum warahmatullah wabarakatuh, my dear happy investing females. So today we will talk everything tax. I asked you over on my Instagram on any questions that you have about taxes because it's tax season in Switzerland now. And inshallah, this will benefit not just the sisters in Switzerland, but also the concepts might apply to your specific country as well, inshallah. So let's jump into the topic. I'm Selvie, I'm the founder of Her Islamic Finance, and I empower muslimahs to their financial security and freedom, inshallah. So today, a very interesting topic, taxes. We all love it. We all can't wait for this time of year. So there's a lot to unravel here. And I just got a few questions back that actually were very interesting. So barakallah fikum for sending those in. They cover different aspects, as you will see, inshallah. And let's go into the first question. So how to do tax in Switzerland as a couple? Is it difficult? A detail on that will be much appreciated. So as a couple, you will file a joint tax return, meaning that it is not essentially more complex because you will put into this joint tax return the exact same information that you were putting for your separate individual tax returns. However, there are two things I want to point out that might make a difference for you. So in the year that you will file the tax return as a couple, you will be taxed as a couple for the full year. And the second point is because we have something called tax regression in Switzerland, meaning that the more you earn, actually, the more you pay taxes multiplied. So if you earn double than before, it doesn't mean that you pay double the taxes. No, you pay more than double the taxes. Meaning that now if you join your income and your situations, oftentimes what happens is that you end up paying more taxes as a couple, as a married couple, than if you would have filed two separate tax returns. And this is something called marriage penalty that we have in Switzerland. And it's also often discussed that this is a unfair disadvantage. Next question, can we deduct Zakat or Sadaqah from our taxes? So here it depends. In Switzerland, everything that is paid to an institution that is listed as an official charity institution in Switzerland is eligible for tax deduction. So it really depends where you pay your Zakat and Sadaqah to. How do I disclose that I have a fraction of a gold bar through my broker? And I love this question because this is something we also discuss in the halal investing program. So basically, it's very straightforward. You just take the value that this gold bar or these units of these gold bars that you bought have on the 31st of December, meaning at the end of the year. You just take the amount of the gold that you have multiplied by the gold price to that time. It's very straightforward. If you order a tax statement from your broker, if they provide this service, you can just take the value that is written there, inshallah. Where do we pay higher tax, in Switzerland or in Germany? And I love this question because it includes two different countries. And comparing Switzerland to Germany, it's difficult to say general because Switzerland is very, very diverse in taxes, meaning that depending on in which part of Switzerland you live, you will pay sometimes very different tax rates to other parts in Switzerland because each part has their own tax rates. But generally speaking, for both Switzerland and Germany, we see tax rates from ranging about 10 to 45%. And I just did an example calculation of a salary of 55,000. And in this calculation, we would pay about 10% in Switzerland for someone that is living in the city of Zurich. And in Germany, we would pay about 14%. So actually here, Switzerland has a lower tax rate But this is just an example, and it can really vary a lot depending on your specific situation. Next question. What is the difference between private and corporate tax rate? So there are two different aspects that I want to point out that are very different in these two types. And of course, here we are talking about taxes that are paid as individuals, meaning a person like me and you, or taxes that are paid by a company, a corporate tax. The difference is in which entity is taxed. Either it's an individual person or a company. The second point I want to point out is what is actually taxed. So when we talk about private tax of individuals, what is actually taxed is their net income, meaning their salary minus all their expenses, and their net wealth, which is what they own minus what they owe. In terms of corporate tax, what is taxed there is the income of the company, the profit of the company. So now we come to the last question, and it's a very interesting one for those sisters that plan to start their own businesses, inshallah. So which type of company is better for new businesses? And I will focus on the tax aspect for my answer now, inshallah. Of course, there are many different aspects to consider when you choose which type of company you open when you open a business, inshallah. And maybe I can do a separate video on that as well. You just let me know in the comments, inshallah. So in terms of taxes, which type is best, or what are the differences? And I will break it down in terms of what is actually taxed, meaning that so the main difference in company type is when we look at sole proprietorship or LC or LCC companies, because the sole proprietorship is taxed under the private tax, meaning it's part of our individual private tax, and it is taxed as part of our income, meaning that whatever the company makes, the profit that the company makes is taxed as an addition or as our private income. Now, if we choose LC or LCC type, the taxes are taxed as company profit in a corporate tax, meaning that also here we have to be aware of something called double taxation, because the profit is taxed once at the company level, and then if we choose to pay out a salary to ourselves from our own company, it is taxed again in the private tax as salary or as income. So this is something to be generally aware of, but this is not a recommendation that sole proprietorship is always better, because we have this here benefit of only taxing the income once, because there are many different other aspects to consider when you choose a company type. So that was so much fun. Jazakallah khairan, my dear happy investing females. I hope you learned something. If there are more questions, I'm very welcome to hear them. Leave them in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. And also, if you want to learn more, check out my social media channels or my programs, inshallah. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khairan. Until next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah wabarakatuh.